From the throne room, I sprinted down the grand corridor, turning left where all my family turned right. Armour, statuary, portraits, displays of fanned-out swords, all of them flashed past. My day boots pounded 100 yards of staggeringly expensive woven rug, luxuriant silks patterned in the Indus style. I turned the corner at the far end, teetering on the edge of control, dodged 2 maids, and ran flat out along the central corridor of the guest range, where scores of rooms were laid ready against the possibility of visiting nobility. "Out of the fucking way!" Some old retainer doddered from a doorway into my path. One of my fathers, Robin, a grey old cripple always limping about the place getting underfoot. I swerved past him, Lord knows why we keep such hangers-on, and accelerated down the hallway. Twice guardsmen startled from their alcoves, one even calling a challenge before deciding I was more ass than assassin. 2 doors short of the corridor's end, I stopped and made an entrance to the green room, gambling that it would be unoccupied. The room, chambered in rustic style, with a 4-poster bed carved like spreading oaks, lay empty and shrouded in white linens. I passed the bed, wherein I'd once spent several pleasant nights in the company of a dusky contessa from the southernmost reaches of Roma, and threw back the shutters. Through the window, onto the balcony, vault the balustrade, and dropped to the peaked roof of the royal stables. An edifice that would put shame to any mansion on the King's Way. Now, I know how to fall, but the drop from the stable's roof would kill a Chinese acrobat. And so the speed with which I ran along the stone gutter was a careful balance between my desire not to fall to my death and my desire not to be stabbed to my death by Miras Alice, or one of his enforcers. The giant Norseman could bludgeon me away out of debt altogether if I managed to secure his services and make the right wages. Hell, if people saw what I saw in the man and wouldn't give me good odds, then I could just slip him some bone wart and bet against him. At the far end of the stable's hall, 2 Corinthian pillars supported ancient vines, or vice versa. Either way, a good, or desperate climber could make his way to ground there. I slid the last 10 foot, bruised my heel, bit my tongue, and ran off toward the battle gate, spitting blood. I arrived there winded, and had to bend double, palms on my thighs, heaving in great lungfuls of air before I could assess the situation. 2 guards watched me with undisguised curiosity. An old soak, commonly known as Double, and a youngster I didn't recognize. "Double!" I straightened up and raised a hand in greeting. "What dungeon are the Queen's prisoners being taken to?" It would be the war cells up in the Marseille Keep. They might be slaves, but you wouldn't put the Norsemen in with common stock. I asked anyway. It's always good to open with an easy question, to put your man at ease. "Ain't no shells for them lot." Double made to spit, then thought better of it, and swallowed noisily. What? She couldn't be having them killed. It would be a criminal waste. "They's going free, that's what I heard." Double shook his head at the badness of the business, jowls wobbling. "Contaft's coming up to process them." He nodded out across the plaza, and sure enough, there was Contaft, layered in his official robes and beetling towards us with the sort of self-importance that only minor functionaries can muster. From the high latticed windows above the battle gate, I could hear the distant clank of chains, drawing nearer. Damn it! I glanced from door to sub-chamberlain and back again. "Hold them there, Double," I told him. "Don't tell them anything. Not a thing. I'll see you right. Your friend too." And with that, I hurried off to intercept Admiral Contaft of House Messer. We met in the middle of the plaza, where an ancient sundial spelled out the time with morning shadows. Already the flagstones were beginning to heat up, and the day's promise simmered above the rooftops. "Admiral!"